and try to turn him like a bulb. You can't even do that.
Yeah.
Turn back on, and he'll be able to have full function.
That is incredible.
Wow.
That's how amazing it is.
About 50% of those with Parkinson's will experience depression and anxiety.
Many studies have shown, for sure out there, that if you find the community and you connect with people, that would be the best for everybody.
It's not the end of your life if you're diagnosed with it, and you just gotta keep fighting.
Welcome to In Good Company, elder care in your backyard.
Cassi Locke is the executive assistant at the Parkinson's Group of the Ozarks, where she leads coordination, supportive services, and community resources for those impacted by Parkinson's. Dawn Davis is a yoga instructor who blends movement and faith-based devotionals to help individuals with Parkinson's find strength, peace, and spiritual grounding. Cory Davis is a U.S. military veteran living with Parkinson's since 2014, sharing his journey with honesty, resilience, and a touch of humor to inspire others. Parkinson's Group of the Ozarks is a local nonprofit dedicated to improving quality of life for those affected by Parkinson's through free wellness classes, support groups, education, and community resources. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So for someone who's never heard of Parkinson's Group of the Ozarks, how would you describe the heart behind the organization?
Well, one thing I left off the bio is I'm actually the president of the board of directors for the Parkinson's.
That is very important. Well, thank you for adding that. We'll get that clarified.
No, that's fine. I didn't put it in there. So, being a caregiver with someone with Parkinson's, the best way to get involved is to advocate for your person, and that's one of the things that got me involved is to advocate for him and to find those resources and getting involved into the community. And that's what led me to the Parkinson's Group of the Ozarks.
That's fantastic.
And you just get involved because it's important. Or you just, I don't know. If you're not involved, then you don't know. And so when you're dealing with this kind of progressive disease, you have to empower yourself with the knowledge of what's going on and what's happening to know what to expect. Parkinson's affects everybody differently in different aspects. There's a full array of symptoms, and every person is different. And Cory is an early onset case. He was diagnosed at age 44.
Okay.
So it was pretty early on as having to deal with that disease and that diagnosis in our family.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'd mentioned getting involved will help help show you where all the resources are. Mm-hmm. Could you help us understand, like if somebody's kind of new to this and they just got a diagnosis and they're just trying to find out information, what are the first resources you point to?
I've located Parkinson's Group of the Ozarks during a time during COVID, and Cory had just had deep brain stimulation surgery. And so he has a DBS, and I was trying to figure out how to find anybody I could connect with because I didn't understand what was happening and what was going on. And so I went online and I searched support groups in the area, and the only thing that I could find was PGO. And when I had a phone number, I got a hold of Cassi, who worked there, and then she led us to support groups and to classes that Cory could get involved in, and then I started getting involved, and I actually started my own class, and now that's why I teach yoga as well, and then got on the board of directors.
That's
and
fantastic.
Just progressively got there, but it took a search online. But our elderly community, because Parkinson's typically is an elderly disease that hits people about age 60 and above. So the early onset is below the age of 50.
Okay.
And so it was a little bit different for us because we weren't in that elderly group. And so the doctors weren't really leading us to places like that. And we were also getting a lot of the care in St. Louis. So a lot of our medical care was being done up there and not locally. So to get involved locally, the elderly community doesn't really have access to the online. So how do you get the word out?
Yeah.
Well, it's doing things like this and getting our our name out there so that people know that we exist and that we're available for those, because we have an array of classes that I'm sure Cassie can definitely go over every single class that we have.
Well, yeah, that'd be
available.
wonderful.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tell us about your resources.
We have a great assortment of resources, and they've actually have grown over the past several years. We started off as a very small organization. Way before my time, even with the organization, there was just a small handful of volunteers. I think they had a few support groups, and that was about it. A little bit later down the road, they started a few wellness classes. I think they had a cycling and a rock steady boxing class. And since the time that I joined, and I've been with the PGO for 5 years, it has just, grown tremendously, just have exploded with resources. We have a whole variety of different classes. And as Dawn kind of mentioned, everyone experiences the disease a little bit differently. So everyone's going to want something a little bit different for their fitness or exercise or wellness needs. We have anything from indoor cycling, we have yoga, we have a program called Rock Steady Boxing, which is non-contact boxing, a program specifically designed for Parkinson's. We have some general exercise classes here in Springfield. We have one in Branson West. We have a speech therapy class, a swallowing therapy class. We also have music therapy, drumming therapy. I hope I'm not leaving any of our classes out. We have Pilates. We just have, a wide assortment of opportunities, and we're very fortunate for that. So people can kind of pick a class that they like to jump into, and it's a great way to keep on top of the disease.
Yeah. Now you have to forgive me because it's been quite a few years that my background's physical therapy. And one of the programs that they were really promoting was a program called LSVT Big. Have you guys heard of that?
Yes.
Is that something that is in this area at all? I'm not even sure anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's usually the families that I see. What will happen is they are usually referred by their doctor for physical therapy for the big program. And then we have a few programs that continue on that, because that is I think a 16-week program.
Right.
And then after those 16 sessions, and a lot of our families are kind of like, well, what do I do now? I want to stay active.
Yeah.
So we have our exercise classes that are based off of the LSVT Big program. And they also incorporate a little bit of the Loud. And then we have a program called Loud for Life, which is, continues from the speech therapy aspect of it. So we're very fortunate to be able to continue on those sessions that once they end, can still move forward.
Now, for those who aren't familiar with some of the symptoms of Parkinson's, can we kind of cover what some of those are, the progression of it, and why some of these programs are needed, especially like the LSVT? Because I think a lot of people might wonder, well, what's speech therapy needed in Parkinson's? Because a lot of people think it's a motor issue, but there's more to it.
You want to talk so they can hear how you talk?
Hopefully I'm talking fine.
Yeah.
Sound great.
Yes.
I did the Big and Loud when I first got diagnosed, and it's helped a lot. Parkinson's disease, as far as talking, you think you're actually talking louder than you really are. So you have a tendency to talk softly. And my wife's you gotta speak up, you gotta speak up. So in my mind, I feel like I'm yelling to get anything out.
Okay.
And then I feel like I'm yelling too loud. And she's like, no, I can hear you. So that's how it affects me.
Okay.
And as far as my speech is concerned.
Okay.
But the Big and Loud was definitely a very good program.
Okay. And the big part of it, what did you do that part as well?
Yes.
And how did that help you?
When I did Big, I was just early in my diagnosis.
Yeah.
Being diagnosed at 44 really was not my plan. So Big helped me as far as stretching and movements and coordination. I like to fish, so part of my therapy was tying fishing knots just to stay with dexterity. And so that kind of stuff is very useful.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Great answers.
Absolutely.
So even in the yoga class that I teach, I use some of the big movements in the yoga poses to target coordination and balance, flexibility. And then we also go into the mindfulness, especially like the controlled breathing and deep breathing to help them, because they also have a lot of issues with swallowing. And so if they're having issues with swallowing, learning how to calm their body whenever they're having a symptom called dyskinesia as well. It's almost seizure-like, and it looks like that, but that's not what it is. But if he goes into breathing and learning to control his breath, he can calm his central nervous system down and calm him down. And therefore, then it calms the symptom down.
Okay.
So they learn these techniques on how the best medicine for Parkinson's is exercise. I mean, there's medication out there, but it's all symptomatic. And so the best medicine is exercise. Every neurologist has told us that. And that's what PGO is after, is to provide those services to people with Parkinson's so that it helps slow the progression. It's not a cure, but it slows the progression. The more active that they're involved and the more that they're able to target whatever symptom might be more prevalent to them.
Right.
We have some that with yoga, I also teach like how to, if they fall to the ground, teach them how to get up properly. And instead of, as a physical therapist, I'm sure you've heard about like making the body smaller and going into the fetal position and going onto your side to get out of the bed easier. Same kind of concept of getting up off the floor if they were to fall and find themselves by themselves and be able to get, alert and get help. So those are some of the concepts that I teach in yoga all at the same time. Most of these programs help them take these aspects home. Just like physical therapy, we're going to go home and we're going to practice them at home. And that was, along with the medication, Cory's experienced tremors are another one, and dyskinesia and dystonia, where they freeze and they can see an object in front of them and it causes them to stop. So the peripheral vision is off. And so they will just stop and then they can't move until they get themselves fixated onto another spot and then can move. That's where tripping over wires or you have to have your home prepared for stuff like that as the progression goes.
Right.
Yeah. And he spoke about dexterity. That's the fine motor skills. So he loses those kind of functions.
Oh, I would have.
Or yeah, and
DBS is definitely a game changer that's changed my life for the better. I've had it for
2020, 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And without it, I would not be able to do half the things I do.
And so when you got recommended for the deep brain stimulator, what was going on that what were your symptoms that there was like, this would probably be the answer for you?
Well, for me, I was maxed out on the medication I could take.
Okay.
And I was only in my Parkinson's progression for less than 10 years.
Okay.
And so I'm like, there's got to be something else. And then we heard about DBS through my neurologist.
Yeah.
So we started getting the testing done. I was a good candidate for it. So I had it done, and it's the best thing I've ever done for my Parkinson's as of right now, was getting the DBS.
So how does it work?
You want to know what the doctor told me?
Yeah.
He doesn't know how it works. It just does.
Okay. Perfect.
No, it's you want to explain it?
So it's a procedure where they insert probes into the brain, and it touches the thalamus, and he has it on the right and the left side because both sides of his body are affected, and so the tip of the probe touches that, and so that then and you can see the moon shape where this is at, so it's inserted into the brain. And then the wires are coiled up underneath and then run down to 2 battery packs. So it's like a brain pacemaker, and it provides electrical stimulation through the body that controls movement, where the dopamine would be traveling through the body. Parkinson's is essentially the death of dopamine in the body.
Okay.
And so the main medication that's used is called carbidopa levodopa. And so when he maxed out on that medication, they couldn't give him any more of it. But it would be, he would take that medication, it would be on, and then he'd go down, dip down, and then he'd have to take the medicine and come back up. So to prevent those dips and valleys, he has this DBS on, so he's on all the time.
Got it.
And as he progresses in the disease, it does mask the symptoms. So he lives in like kind of phase 1 function. He can drive. He can do many things that he could. His quality of life is absolutely, it is a life changer.
It's a game changer. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if he did not have the DBS, he would not be driving.
I see.
He would probably be using a walker and he's 55. So
Yeah.
he would probably be using a lot of different things that he doesn't have to use right now.
Okay.
And we actually brought the DBS if you wanted to see what the difference is with it on and with it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love
I mean,
to.
that's up to you guys. But,
Yeah. We'd love to see the difference.
But I'm going to tell you, it's 9-day.
Yeah.
So do you want to?
If that's
You think
something that
that's
you
okay?
want
Sure.
to
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
like it,
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't hurt.
What would you need to demonstrate that?
Is
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it runs off your, like you can control it off your
It's
phone.
like a remote control.
It's a little iPod and it turns off the stimulation. And so the stimulation is traveling through the body 24/7.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And so when you turn off the stimulation, that's where the medication, where it would be replacing that medication. And so you can, sometimes we have to reset it. If he is starting to experience a symptom, we can go in and we can do a bump up and provide more. So we have 3 levels. We can provide more stimulation. So the doctor will go in and reset those. We go every 6 months and
Right.
then program new settings. And so we essentially can control that to a certain degree. But we can turn it on. It has to go off when he has surgeries or anything like that. But sometimes we reset it just to help him if his symptoms start to go kind of a little, I don't know, wonky.
Yeah.
And so they'll just call us or we'll call them and they'll say, just turn it off, turn it back on. So you'll see a noticeable difference, but we'll do one demonstration.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
this is, so you can see how his hands can do those things.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to turn it off, then you'll see the difference and that you're right.
That's always the fun part.
Oh,
Do you notice it immediately?
Yeah.
Is it instant?
As soon as it goes off, you guys will see it.
Okay.
But when she turns it back on, it'll be like, I always associate it with, here is a kid, put your tongue in a 9-volt battery and felt that tingle.
okay.
Okay.
That's what it feels like through your body when it comes on.
Okay. So you just kind of feel this tingle sensation.
You just turn it on? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yes.
So now try to lift up your right hand. And try to tap your fingers. And try to turn them like a bulb. You can't even do that.
Yeah.
You can turn it back on.
And then it'll go instantaneously. We'll turn back on and he'll be able to have full function.
Wow. That is incredible.
Wow.
That's how amazing it is.
How long has this technology been around?
Since the 30s.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Wow.
I do want to say with all this,
Sure,
too,
go
that
ahead.
not everyone is going to be a candidate for
Okay.
brain
Yeah.
stimulation. That is something you definitely need to talk to your doctor, neurologist on.
Okay.
But it is an option for a few people. But as Dawn mentioned earlier, a lot of our families are actually just on the medication part, medication and exercise.
Got it.
So don't want to scare anyone. Don't
No,
want to give any
that's-
false
yeah.
hopes with.
Yeah.
No, they
With
do
that
have to
either.
he had to go through a whole year of testing to make sure he was a candidate.
Candidate for it. Yeah.
And do you know what some of the main reasons why someone wouldn't qualify? Is it they just can't tolerate the surgery, or is it more than that?
Age is probably one of the bigger things.
Age, okay.
Other risk factors
Yeah.
on that. If they've got compromised immune system, there's
Right.
a big list of it. Just like any other surgery,
That makes sense.
why it might be not a good idea.
Well, thank you for that demonstration, Cory. That's an amazing difference. Incredible. When we talked a little bit about resources and support groups. Are there a lot of support groups, or is there just like one or two main support groups?
There are two main support groups in the Springfield area, and then there's a women's support group, Women Care Partners support group. Let me correct myself there. In Springfield, there is a support group in Branson West, in Joplin, in Carthage, and then there's an online support group that's through Ozark. So there's a lot of options for different support. And a lot of opportunity to meet others. The great thing with the support groups is that they're often what we call is kind of share and care, and then also educational based. So share and care is more kind of a Q&A discussion where everyone kind of visits, maybe ask questions. They really get that personal insight from others who have been in their shoes. So they get that sense of community and also a sense of connection that they're not alone with the disease. So support groups are very vital just for that opportunity to meet others. And then we have the educational sessions, which that's where they'll have local guest speakers that will come in and talk about certain topics related to Parkinson's. It could be Parkinson's, and I think recently they had eye care. They've done falls prevention. Pharmacists has come in and talk about medication. Just a variety of different speakers that will come in, and those are usually our most well-attended groups as well. So
yeah, I bet.
They're just striving for that knowledge. So.
Yeah. So Cory, if you had somebody new come to you just met, and they're like, I just was newly diagnosed, what are the first things you would tell them?
Well, the first thing I would tell them is it's not the end of your life.
Yeah.
There's things out there that you can do that will help you. And then I would just point them in the direction of, if they haven't gotten involved in any of the programs, to get involved with PGO.
Yeah.
Get involved with whatever you can as far as Parkinson's classes, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you can do still to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
I fish, I golf, I hunt. I do all that.
Yeah.
Just whatever I can do. And I would encourage them not to give up on that.
Right.
And
Right.
medication will help you, but like rock steady boxing or yoga,
Yeah.
any of these other things are going to help. But, I meet new guys with Parkinson's all the time. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And not if they're just PGO, but just in walking through, I can just spot a guy after 10 years.
Yeah.
I'll walk up to him and say, "Hey, how are you?" And I'll introduce myself.
Yeah.
And I've made many friends that have Parkinson's just by striking up a conversation.
That's awesome. You're a veteran, by the way. Thank you for your service. I want to call that out.
My wife's a veteran too.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
both.
both for your service. I'm sorry I didn't catch that first part. Guys in general don't like to ask for help. At least I'm that way. I know.
I'm guilty too.
I think sometimes, especially in my experience, some patients, when something like this happens, they tend to isolate just a little bit. And I'm actually inspired because walking up to somebody and just introducing themselves and making friends, it doesn't come natural to me. But when you're, I guess the message that you sent, I think, is really important for a lot of guys to hear. And I just really want to highlight that, is that, you need to have a community around you. You need to ask for help and reach out to other people. That's inspiring to me, and I really appreciate you saying that.
It took getting into a dark place before I got myself out of it.
Yeah.
And in doing it, helping others help me.
Yeah. So do you feel like, and maybe, that's kind of zeroing in on this just a little bit, because I could foresee a lot of people going to a dark place right off the bat. How long do you feel like you were in that bad space before you were able to kind of turn things around?
4 years.
Wow.
4 years.
Okay. That's a long time. Yeah, that's tough. People don't have to wait 4 years, do they?
No, they're not. The resources are available, but you have to want to get help.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do all you can do, but if they don't want to help themselves, you're not going to help them.
Absolutely. It's so true. They have to want it. And, I could see in myself, like I'd have to go through that dark place before I get to a point where I was willing to do whatever it takes to feel better.
Yeah, well, Parkinson's can consume you if you don't get involved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add to that. A lot of our families do suffer from cognitive and behavioral changes. I think I want to say the number is about 50% of those with Parkinson's will experience depression and anxiety associated with the disease and everything. So this is very prevalent with a lot of our families and everything. So Cory knows firsthand from that experience, and vouch why our support groups are very important. Support groups or exercise classes for them to kind of get out and to meet others. It's very vital.
Yeah. Are they able to take are you able to take like medication for like depression or anything like that? Is that still okay? Yeah.
I do. I mean, I don't, the part of the problem with Parkinson's, a lot of the symptoms are based like anxiety, suicidal thoughts, that kind of stuff. For me, being military, diagnosed with PTSD, a lot of the symptoms are the same.
Yeah.
So, I take medication for one, but it helps the other.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That totally makes sense.
Cassie, what's your most popular program at PGO?
Oh, I would have to say probably rock steady boxing.
Okay.
It surprises people. We'll put it that way. Because when people think of boxing, the first thing is, bloody noses, black eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not like that at all. It is non-contact boxing, and they will take boxing drills. I think they have like speed bags and punching bags, and they will incorporate exercises to help with a lot of their symptoms. So they have different levels of rock steady boxing. They have some that are for those that are more progressed with the disease, and then they have some that are still pretty physically able to handle some of the exercise movements. So a lot of times we'll have an assessment done beforehand, and they'll be placed into a certain level class. And it's just a wonderful sense of community also. Everyone there is there for the same reason. And it's just a family-like atmosphere. So it's one of our most popular programs.
In the boxing, as the spouse, you're what they call the corner person. So you hold the bag, so the spouse gets involved, the caretaker, and so all the ladies, we all meet and we get to know each other. Yeah. And so we work together, or vice versa if there's ladies that are involved, the spouse. So there is that caregiver side of it, because if the person with Parkinson's is taking the class, the caregiver can be there with them at the same time.
Okay.
And do the class with them, learn with them. And that's what I think is so great about the classes is the community isn't just the person with Parkinson's, but the support group around them.
Also, all of our classes are free. So that is one of the
Okay.
very beneficial things with that, kind of a weight off the shoulder for our families, is that all of our classes are sponsored. So they don't have to pay a thing for when they attend. So
Which would you say is underutilized? Which one do you think is a program that you think that should get more attention that's not?
oh gosh, there's a lot of yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga is one. We have, like mentioned, there's indoor cycling. I think though, mostly I'd have to say our speech and swallowing classes.
Okay.
That's one that I think a lot of people don't realize that they have those concerns and may need to be a little bit more proactive early on. A lot of Parkinson's individuals, some will experience changes, some may not, or may be a little bit later down the road, but it's something to be very proactive about. And I think that one would probably be the one that is underutilized the most.
And Dawn, walk us through what inspired you to start the yoga class.
Well, as Cory told you, I was in the military, but I'm a retired police officer out of Springfield. PD.
Okay.
And so I was at a retired age, and I was at COVID and getting involved. And so I wanted to do faith-based yoga. And so I went and got certified during COVID through Yahweh Yoga. And kind of at first was, maybe I don't know what I'll do with it, but I can at least teach those concepts to Cory, because it's, I got 500 hours versus 200. Most yoga instructors are 200 hours. So I went ahead and got the whole 500 hours to get the therapeutic side of it as well. And that's when I just took that out. Was I a board member? I think I was just a board member when I presented the class to start yoga for this area. And they accepted it, and because of the benefits of what yoga would be for somebody with Parkinson's. You go to that guys don't like to do things, and yoga. So now I'm diagnosed with this, and so you tell me I should go to yoga, and I can't move, I can't do these things, and you want to, but it's very slow, it's very gentle, it's very very deep stretching, and we work on balance. And then there's that spiritual aspect to help with those dark spots, to help, because we do devotional, like that mindfulness. And so I just took that and took it before the board, and the board approved a yoga class. I think I started off with a pretty heavy number. I had about 17 clients in the very beginning.
Wow.
Predominantly men and a few spouses. And it slowly kind of went off a little bit. Some of the regulars then found that they just couldn't do it anymore. A couple passed away. And so most of the class was made up of 70 years and above.
Right.
Cory was the youngest one in my class. And so working with, again, it's predominantly an elderly disease. Most of them are diagnosed after age 60. So, and then they sponsored it. And it's a little bit lower number now, but we got to get the word out there that it's available to them. And so we pass that around. But some guys are kind of a little scared to do the yoga, and they don't realize that.
I would be. Yeah.
And then when they come to the class, they're like, oh, this is really great. And they meet a community of other men that are the same age. So predominantly right now, I have one female, and the rest are men. That I have about 5 in the class now versus 17, and one of them is a female. But they do have spouses that do the class with them.
Yeah, that's neat.
They're just elderly, and they see how the benefits.
Yeah, they'll get it too. Yeah,
is as well, and then they take those concepts home and do them at home. Because we do balance, we get them up and standing and balance and coordination, flexibility, all those things that it's very beneficial for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where are the classes held?
Well, my class is held in Springfield at the United Methodist Kingsway.
Okay,
United
yes.
Methodist Church.
Okay. Yeah.
And they allow me to use the gym there, and so it has a nice carpet on the floor. So then when we lay on the floor, it's a nice area. They just run a small rate for me, and PGO is the one that sponsors that class, so they pay for that overhead, and we do that through fundraising, and that's how we earn donations because we are a nonprofit, a 501c3, so we fundraise and we get donations in order to pay for these classes so that they are free to people with Parkinson's and their caregivers.
So is it weekly or sorry?
So just clarification. That's one of many of our classes.
Sure.
What we do is we partner with different businesses, organizations, and we sponsor wellness classes. So those businesses, organizations are separate entities, and they will put on the class, and we, like she mentioned, we will help pay or support that class, and we have them offered throughout the Ozarks. So we have, like, for example, in Branson West, we have an exercise class. We partner with Cox Health. We have an indoor cycling class. We have a partnership with the Body Smith, and we host dance, non-contact boxing, Pilates. So they're kind of located
quite a variety
all throughout the Ozarks.
and location.
Different locations and everything. So the PGO, I want to clarify, we do not host these classes. They're through our community partners on that end, but we have a good assortment throughout the Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, that's awesome. How often are your classes?
Once a week.
Once a week. Okay, awesome. And most of the classes are kind of a weekly thing?
Yes, classes are mostly once a week, and then we have support groups that are monthly.
Cool. Sounds like you've got enough things going on so we could do a different exercise every week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good.
Do you have some big events throughout the year
Oh, yes.
that you could touch on? We would love to hear it.
Our next event coming up is going to be in April, which is Parkinson's Awareness Month. For those that didn't know, we have our Parkinson's Resource Fair. I think this is our fourth year hosting this event. It is an educational event. So we will have different businesses, organizations there that are all centered around Parkinson's. It is a free event, and it'll be at Empower Abilities inside their community room here in Springfield. The event will be on Saturday, April 18th. I think forward in my calendar head from 10 a.m. to noon. And I think last year we had over 20 businesses. So we're expecting a lot more this year and everything, but there'll be many educational sessions where people can kind of go in for 10, 15 minutes, get a blast of information, and then visit with other organizations to learn about what's available in the Ozarks.
That's great. Yeah.
We also have in July is going to be our trivia night. This is our third annual. Gosh, I'm losing track of all these numbers.
Wow.
Trivia night. And this is one of our big fundraising events, and it is a very fun event. I think we host anywhere from about 18 to 20 teams. And the trivia is just fun questions where people can help support a great cause. So we'll have that coming up this summer. We also have our Pound the Pavement for Parkinson's. It's a 5K run. That one is going to be our 34th annual event. So it has been our largest fundraiser for out of all the events that we do. And we have that over at Rutledge Wilson Farm Park.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So it is a great
lot of
event
fun.
to kind of get out there, support a wonderful cause, enjoy beautiful scenery, get some exercise. So we have a lot of wonderful opportunities coming up this year.
That's great. Well, we'll
have
in the
that all
show
on
notes, I mention all those things. So somebody out there who wanted to get resources right away, what's the best way to reach your organization?
Probably to give us a call. They can call us at our number, or we're also on Facebook. We also have a website. So any of those methods are usually how most people reach out to us.
Okay, that's great. Well, we can definitely put that.
We can definitely put that on
put
there.
that on the
I think
screen
put
so
something
people.
on the bottom of the screen that will say.
Yeah, for sure. Some people are listening. Do you have the phone number off the top of your head?
417-814-6067.
Awesome.
Great. And your website?
Parkinsonsgroup.org.
Awesome.
Facebook is Parkinson's Group.
That is
Great.
awesome. Yeah, I want to encourage anyone out there that might be at the beginning stages to not tackle this stuff alone, right? That's the big message here, that we have to come together when we're challenged with things and not crawl under a rock, so to speak, because, I can just relating to some of my own health issues, sometimes you kind of start to, think, I can handle this by myself and, can take care of things by myself. And, now that I'm older, I'm realizing, nope, I gotta ask for help. And, you guys are out here sending a great message. You guys do amazing work, and we really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Being here means a lot. Sharing your personal story and, helping other people recognize that, there's you have to fight. You have to keep fighting. And
Never quit.
never quit.
Never quit.
Yeah,
You win if you don't quit.
that's right. You win if you don't quit. I love that. I'm going to put that somewhere.
I like that. Should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, I know.
That's a T-shirt
Yeah.
right there.
That's
I
a
love
good-
that.
That's a good saying.
It has that on there.
Oh, it does? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We got to plug the T-shirt.
So again, our audience are people who come from a lot of different areas and are at the beginning stages of things. Are there any final thoughts you have on a message you'd like to give?
Specifically, like for the caregivers, that they too live with the disease, even though they don't have the disease. When your spouse or your loved one and you're caring for them, that you too live in that world, and that it does impact you, and that when you feel that connection is the best way. Find that connection so that you know that you don't feel alone. Somebody to be able to bounce things off of, and okay, I'm not alone in this, and I have support, and that's where the support groups are so great.
Yeah.
And being able to have that community. Community is everything when it comes to having and dealing with a disease that is there's no cure. We're going to be living with it forever.
Right.
So we have to put our best foot forward, and that's by doing it together. So just not trying to fight it alone. And many studies have shown, for sure, out there that if you find the community and you connect with people, that will be the best. That would be the best for everybody. So I would put that out there for the caregivers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go it alone.
No.
That's right.
Yeah.
I second what Dawn says here. I think community is just very important. And a lot of people think that they're alone with the disease and that this is their own issue, and they don't realize that there are others out there that can help them, that there is support, that there are people there that, can give guidance, can give insight. But just trying to battle this all by yourself is, it's just, I can't imagine. So community and family is just a huge part of it.
And that we're just here. PGO is here to help. I think the statistics are 90,000 people are diagnosed a year, and that's the growing number. And so we know that you're here in the area. We know you're here, but you just don't know about us.
Right.
And so give us a call or look us up online, and we have so much to offer and to give to help those that are in need,
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
struggling with this.
Cory, any final thoughts?
Don't go it alone.
Yeah.
PGO is here to help. Your family is your biggest supporter.
Yeah.
It's not the end of your life if you're diagnosed with it.
Right.
You have to have a positive mindset.
Yeah.
You got to stay out of those dark places.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep fighting.
Absolutely.
That's the best advice I can give anybody with Parkinson's is don't give up, just keep fighting.
I love it.
Very well said.
Great advice. So for anyone out there that knows someone who has been newly diagnosed, or a family that might be dealing with this on their own, please send this podcast to them. And there's resources that are going to be in the show notes. And keep fighting. Keep fighting. Good words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay, we just got done with Don, Cory, and Casey, and we were actually walking out the door and talking with them, and they brought up some really interesting facts that I just want to make sure that we put in here, because I was unaware of this, but they said that 1 in 4 people who are diagnosed with Parkinson's go through some sort of misdiagnosis prior. They think it's some sort of peripheral nerve issue, and they'll even go through surgery prior to their diagnosis. And actually, Cory went through that. They thought he had an ulnar nerve issue, and they went in to do surgery. Obviously, that didn't really take care of the issue. And then later they find out that was actually a symptom related to his Parkinson's. The other thing that we didn't learn until after we had finished up, that Cory had actually been exposed when he was in Afghanistan to burn pits, and they believe that that exposure actually contributed to his Parkinson's. So he had an exposure, and then 3 years later, he had a diagnosis. Did I get that?
That's right,
Spencer.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I think was very, very interesting. I know Dawn had mentioned that they found a connection between Agent Orange, that
Going back to
chemical
Vietnam.
exposure.
That's right.
And that a lot of people with a Parkinson diagnosis actually have had some sort of brain injury of some sort previously, whether that's through perhaps a chemical component or a TBI. But that was very, very interesting. They said there's also a genetic component, like if you have somebody in the family, that it kind of contributes to it, but it's not a guarantee. Like if somebody else in your family has Parkinson's, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have Parkinson's, but it does contribute to the factors involved. Trying to think, there was anything else.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
It's really good to know that like PGO has free opportunities for you to explore and programs, and they're all across the Ozarks. So not just in Springfield, they're down in Branson and all sorts of places. So
Yeah.
it's just really nice to know that they have those resources, and just speak out. It's hard. It's a very difficult diagnosis. I know it affects a lot of people, but the key is to speak up and seek out those resources, because they're there for you if you need them.
Absolutely. And I think Cory's message of, life's not over. You got a lot of good life, a lot of fun to have. And especially for Cory, he's found purpose in his life. He has a great story, a great message, and he's out there trying to help other people who are newly diagnosed with Parkinson's. And I think that's the most inspirational of all of it. Sometimes when bad things happen, people kind of start thinking about themselves and, like everything that they're going through. But the answer is to go the other way and go outside of yourself and try to help other people and reach other people. And that purpose really does inspire me personally. I think it's amazing, all the things that he's accomplished after having, this diagnosis. And, his honesty was just very touching to me.
Absolutely.
Having, going to a dark place for a while, I could totally see that and relate to that in so many ways, and that you get through it. That's the number one thing I think he said.
Keep on fighting.
Yeah.
When you fight, you win.
Yeah, that's right. When you fight, you win, for sure.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
And we'd love to stay connected. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram at In Good Company Elder Care Podcast.
You can also find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at IGC Pod, and on TikTok at IGC Elder Care Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to In Good Company Elder Care in Your Backyard. I'm John Ray, and I've been joined by my amazing co-host, Spencer Ernst. Special thanks to our executive producer, Alex Wallace, for helping bring this show to life. Until next time, take care, and remember, you are always in good company.